I am very pleased that I'm joined here in the studio by Carlo Polizzano, our great Italian friend. And there's a bit of a story to tell that happened during lockdown. I became aware that Carlo is producing a documentary, a series of documentaries about grassroots music and grassroots music venues. And Carlo was looking for sponsors for his project, and we decided we would step in. So TALENTBANQ have become sponsors of the first documentary in the series, which is called The Spirit of Camden. But let's find out a little bit about Carlo first before we get into the subject matter. Carlo, welcome.
Hi, Ray. Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you've come to be in London.
Oh, that's a nice and long, funny story. I started to work in the music industry after basically my high school degree. So I'm coming from Sicily, and after finishing high school, I decided to just leave my island and go to work in Milan and live in Milan. So I've been attending university there. But then parallel to that, I started my career as a music photographer. So I was basically chief photographer of Rolling Stone Italy, and I was following gigs and live events and concerts, and I was providing pictures to many different magazines, among which Rolling Stone. So I started my career in the industry in that way, and I've been doing that for 4 years before finishing my study, and then let's say that the chapter of my life was kind of over. You know, all my friends were going away to find better fortune somewhere else. I had a relationship that was over, so there was nothing for me at home in Milan, and I was like, hey, you know what? Let's try something else. So got some money, and I went to here in London 6 years ago, actually. A bit more than 6 years ago. I had like £600 in my pocket and 1 week in a hostel, the Dictionary hostel in Shoreditch. I was like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. And 6 years after, I'm still here.
Your £600 reminds me of C6 Steve.
Yeah.
I started out with nothing, and I've still got most of it left.
Yeah.
So I hope you've still got some of that left, my friend.
Yeah, some of it, yeah.
So tell me, I now know that you make documentaries. What is it that inspired you to start making documentaries about grassroots music venue and indeed grassroots music?
Well, of course, I think the main reason is what is behind my whole, choice of this career, so to try to get into the music industry. Of course, I went into it as a musician and tried to make it. I tried to get on a stage and play. Unfortunately, I didn't success on that, but I tried to stay into the field. And when I arrived in London, I started to play with this band. We were a beautiful band called Bandini, and we were a 10-piece band, and we were going around, playing around London. And I went in contact with this, wonderful reality. And I have to say, coming from Italy and coming from a place in London, you have this kind of like very romantic idea of a place where music happened, it's the place where gave birth to the biggest band in the world. So coming in here and actually experimenting firsthand, all the bass, all, as you say, all the grassroots artists in the grassroots venue, where everything actually started for any kind of band and everyone. It was pretty amazing. And during this time playing around, I've been lucky enough to meet some of these people and become friends of these people. And I saw that there was a very big community around it, and there were really incredibly beautiful souls. And especially, I understood how important it is for the fabric of the town, the role that grassroots music venues have. I think I kind of started to understand that London wouldn't be London without these spaces. And I think...
And can I just ask you then, because your first documentary is called The Spirit of Camden. So you haven't just chosen London, you've chosen a point on the map. And if you were to even pinpoint it further, is there one place in Camden that you feel has the spirit of grassroots music at its heart?
Of course, it has a name, and it's called Spiritual Bar. And this is the place where my film is set. I came across Spiritual Bar thanks to other friends, and since the first time I went in there, I was mesmerized. The energy, I don't know how to explain it, but you know way better than me, Ray. You've been in this field for a long time. When you get in a venue where it's small, it's packed, it's beautiful, you can feel the energy from the crowd and the artist. And I was like, hey, someone has to tell this story. You know, someone has to bring this story to a screen in order to let a lot of people know about what's happening. And I felt this, you know, I mean, I felt this really true, you know, search for a great sound and a great, you know, great community of artists. And so I pinpoint and I chose that venue because I think it encapsulates what is everything there is the best about grassroots venues and grassroots music.
Well, I'm going to add my vote to yours because I think Raphael, who runs the Spiritual Bar, is one of the few people in London that really gets it. He has created a community and gives opportunity to so many musicians, either that are resident or visiting. And I think in Camden, there are a couple of venues, perhaps, that I feel are that way. The Green Note, Imi and Risa at the Green Note being another. Yeah, I like what they do at the Dublin Castle. I think the Jazz Cafe has still got it. The Black Heart has still got it. The Lock Tavern, Dingwells. Yeah, it's just great that Camden is still this hotbed of music. But getting back to your look at Camden, tell us a little bit about when we can get to see the documentary.
Well, the documentary will be finally, I mean, it's been difficult to organize that, I have to say, because, you know, releasing a film in the midst of a pandemic surely is not very easy. But we managed to actually find a very good solution, and the film will be available worldwide, actually, on a virtual platform, on a virtual cinema, brought to us by Ourscreen. Guys, Ourscreen is this crowdsourcing cinema platform, and they organize this virtual cinema where they give the possibility to people to watch the film and commenting it live. So it's going to be like you're going to the cinema. So you're going to have, you know, runtime. You can't press pause, and at the same time, you're going to have a live chat where you can comment and you can, you know, have your feedbacks about the movie. And after that, it will be followed up by a live streaming gig from the Spiritual Bar.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm sure that listeners are going to be really interested to see the documentary. I have to say, from TALENTBANQ's perspective, it is such a pleasure to be able to sponsor such an endeavour. And what we will do, we will make sure that on the TALENTBANQ website and on our social media that we have the link that people can find where to watch the documentary. And just for listeners, I can let you know that Carlo's company is called How Does It Sound? So you can also look them up on social media and the links will be there too. So, Carlo, we look forward to tuning in and watching the Spirit of Camden. Thank you for making it happen. Thank you for celebrating the music in our city.
It's all about that, Ray. It's all about that. We need to celebrate this as long as we can.
Well, it takes an Italian to come to help us to celebrate.
Well, I hope I can show you how lucky you are and how good you've been, and English people and London itself, about the whole country has been on giving us the best music in the world, and we should fight for it and we should keep preserving it.
Well, what a glorious international mix we have, Carlo. You from Italy. I think Raphael is currently on a beach in Brazil.
Having the best time.
And here am I representing True Blue London. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for hosting me, Ray. Thank you.